It doesn't matter if you're dating a guy, just friends with a guy, if the person is your father, just a parent in general. It doesn't matter. Whatever the dynamic is of the relationship, some dudes will just want to try and control you. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them, their insecurities. But now we gotta deal with their problems. So I wanted to make a video about this. Actually, the main reason I was even inspired to make this video was because of all the hashtag Free Britney stuff that was trending last week. And even though some people are gonna watch this video years from now, and I'm making this video based on a current event, these are all things that these are ways that guys try and control women that are timeless. So what I wanted to do in this video was give you a couple examples of different ways that guys will try to control you. Not only that, maybe how to deal with it a little bit, but most importantly, I just want you to be aware of the different ways that it can happen, because as soon as you know about it, when it happens, you're like, oh, Tom told me about that in a video. I realize I'm being manipulated now, and suddenly I don't care what this person has to say as much. And personally, I find these topics to be the most important ones that I do on my channel. So if you find this video helpful, useful, if you think other people need to see this video too, make sure you give it a thumbs up down below, you give a comment, share it, because that's how YouTube knows, oh, we should promote this video more. Actually, the thing I care about most is people watching it all the way to the end. So make sure you do that. But with that being said, enough promoting myself. Let's dive in. So the first way that a guy will try and control you is through something that I call isolation island. Studies show that humans are much easier to influence when they are isolated from other people and they are one-on-one with someone else. Because even though everyone loves to say, oh, I don't care what other people think about me, that's literally not true. Like, everyone cares what other people think about them on some level or another, because if your ancestors didn't, they would have died. So it's ingrained in all of our brains, which means when you're one-on-one with someone, the only person whose opinion you value in that moment, even if it's just slightly more, is that person. You act differently around your parents versus your best friend versus a stranger at the supermarket. You don't act the same in all those situations, and that's totally normal. In fact, that'd be kind of weird if you didn't. But the way this goes back to manipulation is that some guys will try and remove other people from your life so that their voice isn't in your ear, only theirs is, therefore they can have more control over your decisions. And it's never anything big at first, it always starts out really small. In fact, the best analogy for this in all of these tactics is something known as the frog in the boiling water effect, which is where, hey, if you put a frog in boiling water, it's going to jump out, but if you put the frog in lukewarm water, it's not going to jump out, and then you can turn up the heat, and then the frog will just stay in the pot of water until it dies. That's what a manipulative relationship is like. And so it won't start out with anything big. It'll always be like small things. Like maybe they comment on how they don't like one of your friends because they're annoying, or whatever reason they want to give. And then just slowly over time, they just start clipping people off one by one, and then you just only have them. I remember the last time it happened, it turned out she moved in with her boyfriend, and so he had her pretty much cut off every family member, friend. She was even like vegan when I knew her. And then I talked to her like a year and a half later. She wasn't vegan anymore because her boyfriend didn't like that, and he was the only person that she was with. They lived together, and there was no one else in the picture. And that was just one of those moments that was like kind of mind-blowing to me, like how much someone can change if the other person has that much influence over them. So just be aware, when you are spending all of your time with one specific person, basically ask yourself, do I want to be exactly like this person, or do I trust that this person genuinely has my best interest at heart? That is just like, make sure you write those questions down, because you can even be aware of this and it still has just as much impact on you. Another version of this would be like a direct complaint about things that you do that they don't necessarily like. Because no one wants to be on the receiving end of a complaint that's from someone whose opinion we value. It's like when your parents say, hey, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It's like a punch in the gut. You're just like, oh, I'm so sorry, why'd you say that? Because it hurts. And the thing is, when someone says that, it's not always necessarily a negative manipulation. Sometimes it's a positive influence. It's like they actually have a high standard for you and they want you to succeed and have a happy life. And we all make mistakes sometimes, which makes this super manipulative, because you have to be able to tell when is it negative manipulation and when is it positive influence. And that simply comes down to asking yourself whether or not what you're doing, in your opinion, is bad. Because if a guy complains about like what you're wearing, you know, that's probably a red flag, especially if you were like wearing these things or doing these actions before you were with them, and suddenly now that you're together, they have a problem with it. That's a big no-no. But at the same time, if you know you're dating someone and you develop an addiction to meth, you know, maybe they got a point. Now, another manipulative tactic that's the exact opposite of direct complaints is passive-aggressive behavior, which is very different and it's just as bad. And this is when, instead of them telling you, hey, this is the thing I don't like, they tell you everything except, hey, this is the thing I don't like. And they pretty much force you to go on a quest to figure out what you're doing wrong because they lack good communication skills. And there's a number of different ways they can do this. They might make side comments, they might, you know, have condescending questions, sarcastic remarks, a ton of different examples. And again, this is like another one that I could make a whole separate video on. In fact, if you want to leave a comment, like to help promote this video more, let me know which one of these you want me to do a video that's like more in depth on first. Because so far I think we've talked about Isolation Island, we've talked about direct complaints, we've talked about passive aggressive comments, and then the next one I want to talk about is jealousy. But not just jealousy, because again, like that's something that I think all humans feel, especially when we actually do care about someone. And again, that is why this gets so manipulative, because it's very gray. Like sometimes someone can be genuinely jealous because they just care about you, but other times it goes too far. Like in my opinion, the way I try and like make it black and white, or easier to be black and white, is when they apologize for being jealous and then they justify it as, I only got jealous because I care. And the reason that's a problem is because they're basically apologizing and justifying their actions as like they're doing it for a good reason, like the end justifies the means. And the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So if someone ever like apologizes for doing something and then they like, you know, this toxic thing they did and they, you know, their reason for it is a good reason, that's a big red flag. Like that's the thing about a healthy relationship. It's all about giving your partner the space to make their own decisions and you trusting them enough, because you're in this relationship, you've gotten to know them enough to be able to trust them to make the right decision. Not about you trying to control them. It's so much better when you just give them all the space in the world and then they don't make the bad decisions. It's kind of like how if you have parents that, you know, are super strict, you know what that just does? That makes sneaky children. If your parents let you do everything you want, you're gonna be pretty tame usually. We could dive into like more healthy relationship stuff in a future video. If that's something you want me to talk about, let me know. And I could dive more into like how to have a healthy relationship in the future if you're interested in this. If you have any questions you want to ask me at all or suggest a future video topic for me, feel free to text me. I'll put my phone number right here. You probably aren't going to memorize that number very quickly, so hit the top link in the description down below. Just shoot me a text, say hey, just hey, I saw this video, and I'll respond, I'll chat with you. And you are talking to me directly. It's not a bot, it's not some automated text. Well, the first text is going to be automated, but after that, all of them are directly with me. Anyway, guys, it's really all I've got to say on it, so thanks for watching, and I will text you back very soon. Peace.